against Kansas.
Arizona, I should say, gets us started. And that's going to be the first kill of the match. It's Sydney Nolan.
It looked like that ball was soaring out, but the defensive player for Arizona just might have gotten in the way of that one.
Be Lily Gillespie, first server for Cincinnati, the 5'7" freshman from Cincinnati, and service error will give it right back to Arizona.
The serve pass game is going to be so important for both teams, but especially Cincinnati. They've got to be aggressive from their service line. There's a happy medium. You need to keep the ball in the court. Don't have as many unforced errors that make it tough on Arizona.
Kept off the floor nicely there by Haven Ray, one of the two liberos for this Arizona squad. Another swing by Glendenning. First swing of the day for Jordan Wilson, picking right up where she left off the other night.
Having 37 kills in a 5-set match, and then for that to be your career high, you have your career high against what was then number 8 in the country is pretty impressive.
And I thought it was amazing. I mean, coming off the number of kills she had, but I think she only had 4 errors in that match, and I think she took almost 70 swings.
Glendenning able to put that one away to get the serve away from Carly Cisneros and tie us up at 2 here in set number 1.
I love the attack by Glendenning on that last ball. She really threw some power behind that tip.
Abby Walker serving now for Cincinnati. Tapped from the back that time by Cisneros. And there Arizona able to put up some defense at the net to take the point.
And we're going to see a lot of back row attack by Arizona. They run a 5-1. Meaning the setter sets all the way around, and when she's in the front row, she only has 2 attackers up there with her in the front, so they need a third option, and that's going to come from the back row.
Haven Ray serving now. One set right in the middle. Swing by Washington is handled. Swing on the other side by Jalen Hodge. Chance for Glendenning. Off the top of the block by Hodge. Back this time, rolling off the top of the net for Sigmund. On the left side again, Glendenning. And once again, Jordan Wilson getting another termination.
That was a great swing by Wilson. That whole rally, the Bearcats and the Wildcats were getting great block touches, really slowing the ball down. However, that last swing by Wilson was just too much for the Cincinnati block.
Haven Ray, the Arizona native from Peoria, Arizona. Good serve there. Glendenning again. Not able to get that one over. Another point for Arizona on an early 5-2 lead.
Yeah, Carly Glendenning, it's tough because everybody knows she's going to get the ball. Set was a little bit inside. She needs to know where her block is, find a spot on the floor to score.
Another chance there and kept off the floor by Arizona. Wilson going to push that one, looking for the touch, and she got it. Another kill for Wilson and a 6-2 advantage.
Very smart shot by Wilson. That ball was a little tight. She used the outside hand of Leffler and was able to score.
Doesn't just do it with power, does it with a lot of cunning as well. Excellent serve. It's going to force the overpass and the finish by Kiara Roby. Whittakin going to serve. The east side of Cincinnati, Turpin High School. 5'8" senior. Arizona didn't receive it well, but kept it in play. Effort there, and a block. Wilson is rejected.
That's a big Cincinnati block Wilson's facing. We're seeing number 14, Irbe Lazda, setting up a big block on the right side.
Well, there's Coach Rita. It was great to chat with her this week. What a treat, and certainly pleased with the way her team played in that 5-set win over Kansas. Another block for Cincinnati.
One thing from our call with Coach Stebbs was, I really liked how she said they have this thing where you can say something once. You can say something once and then you get past it. So if the gym is cold, you can only say it's cold once, and then we get past it. And I think that is just something that's so important because it's so easy to really harp on things that are going wrong or things that could be affecting your play, excuses as some would say. But I really like that rule that she has for her team.
Great dig that time by Frame, kept it alive, and Cincinnati able to put it away and back to within 8-7.
Faith Frame, again, we can't say enough good things about her. She keeps this team in plays, along with Julie Whittakin back there, who does a great job at the defensive specialist position. Faith Frame as a libero. Their defense, they carry this team and keep them in plays.
Whittakin on a serving run here to pull the Bearcats back to within a point. Will be tapped over. Somehow Arizona able to win that point. A little bit unlucky there for Cincinnati.
Yeah, Scoggins took that ball. She was front row as a setter. When you're in the front row, you're allowed to jump and hit. Nobody up at the net. She got a little lucky with that net. Just rolled over into an open spot on the Cincinnati side.
There's Jordan Wilson to serve. Off the top of the net, ends up back on Cincinnati's side. And
tight. Caitlin Leffler needs to keep the ball off the net a little bit to allow her hitters to be able to hit around that big block of Arizona.
It's going to be the service error from Wilson. Started her career at USC, what would have originally been an in-conference transfer in the Pac-12. Of course, USC moved on their way, and Arizona came here to the Big 12. So now moving into the Big 12, and Wilson's been a star so far. Here is Faith Frame now to serve. The Bearcats down by 2. That one off the shoulder thanks to the swing by the outstanding freshman Carly Cisneros.
Yeah, she's impressive. #1 recruit in the country, and you can see why she's so good because she's able to do so many things with the ball. She didn't pound that ball, but she found an open spot down the line on Cincinnati's defense.
Ruby serving, forcing the overpass and the finish. Just like that, Arizona back up by 4.
Yeah, again, Caitlin Leffler's back row at the moment, so she cannot go up and attack or try to block that ball. Cincinnati needs to work on that first contact, keep it off the net, give them something Caitlin can get under and set her hitters.
Swing there by Walker, dug out. And Arizona, kept off the floor by Frame again. And Arizona able to come up with another block. For a moment they pointed, indeed it did end up on that side, so it'll be a point for Cincinnati.
So taking a replay there, that ball came down so fast.
I wasn't 100% sure where it went.
Yeah, I think both teams were celebrating, but it was on Arizona's side.
Tapped over right in the middle of the floor. Cisneros again able to put it away.
Yeah, again, she's just trying to find open spots on the floor. A nice hard tip to that defense right in the middle, right in that campfire for the kill.
Here's Scoggins to serve, the freshman. Multi-time Rookie of the Week in the Big 12. Showing off on the other side, the libero Ray keeping it off the floor. A chance for the Bearcats, but pushed a little bit long that time. Another point for Arizona.
Yeah, and you're going to see something a little bit different. There's a new rule this year. You can have 2 liberos. So on Arizona's side, you're going to see number 8, Ray, and you're also going to see number 3, Ginder, on the floor. They cannot play at the same time, but they can come in and out for one another.
How would you use 2 liberos? What's a good example as to where that makes sense to use both of them?
So as you'll see, Ginder is in right now, number 3. Typically that would mean she's a better serve-receive passer. So that's usually the case why you would use 2. One's a better defender, one is much better in serve-receive. Makes
sense as the service error from Cincinnati. Makes it a 15-10 lead for Arizona. Here's Cisneros, the #1 rated player, as you said, coming out of high school. First team All-American in high school. And that one blocked again by Arizona as Glendenning is stuffed at the net.
Yeah, Leffler needs to do a better job watching her block. I think they cheated to the outside to Glendenning, and Abby Walker's behind. Possibly could have set up a one-on-one situation.
Back set this time. Great effort keeping it off the floor again by Ray. And putting it away that time is Jalen Hodge. Let's take a look at Cisneros. What an outstanding freshman.
She is also a 6 rotation outside, which is, if you're a coach, that is exactly what you want. You want an outside hitter who will stay on the court for all 6 rotations, hitting out of the back row like you just saw there. Something that's so valuable to have on your team.
Bearcats able to keep it alive. And it also helps when you have Jordan Wilson over here on this side to put it away.
Yeah, good job by the setter. There's Scoggins. That pass was tight. She was in the back row. She was able to bring it back, get a nice ball.
Talking with Coach Stubbs this week, the other thing that she mentioned about Cisneros that was so impressive is that when there's one part of her game that is struggling, she's able to focus on the other parts of her game and do really well without letting her whole level drop.
And that's very mature as a freshman, because you do see a lot of athletes kind of get in their heads. If one part of their game isn't going well, they just shut down. But that is a valuable skill to have, especially as a freshman.
Bearcats able to block Hodge that time. Pushed back across by Wilson. Stewart going to get a swing, and another block by Arizona.
Yeah, Stewart took a hard swing. She's trying to find high hands, but she's got to realize she's still a freshman, and you got to realize, when you're in high school and when you're in club, you can do that. You can power it through a block, but here in the Big 12, especially at the tail end of the season, you're not going to be able to power it through Arizona's block.
Ray floats that one in, and another block. That time it was Roby throwing up the wall.
They played almost every set. You can just see the improvement coming along with only a couple more weeks left in the season.
Arizona hitting a 346 clip, Cincinnati minus 074. That's why Arizona has a 20-11 lead, but able to get that one put away. Stewart able to get the kill.
Say one thing when you're scouting a Cincinnati team, you never know who you're going to see. We have already seen multiple attackers tonight. Fallon Stewart has been subbed in the front row. Just a new attacker for Arizona to face tonight.
Get another chance here. This time Arizona throws up the block again, though, to stop Stewart from getting 2 in a row.
Yeah, Cincinnati has 3 front row attackers right now, but you could see in the previous rotations, you could see Arizona's block, especially their left side, cheat way in, because Zeta Washington very rarely runs anything behind the setter. So they were able to cheat way in, and now they have 3 attackers in the front row. So let's see if that opens up the net a little bit.
Well, they brought in the server that, according to Coach Stubbs' husband, she says, brings the boom. It is Anna Heath coming in, the junior from Murphy, Texas.
I love a good top spin serve. You don't see as many of them anymore. I know a lot of coaches believe that the float serve is more difficult in serve receive, but it is always fun to see a nice top spin serve.
Has 2 hitters in the front row, so they sent the middle blocker as a decoy back behind the setter for a slide, and Jordan Thompson moved over to the middle and hit a tandem, a 2-ball, and crushed it.
Spin off the top of the net that time for Heath. And that one going to hit off the block and go wide as Stewart going to get another kill.
Credit to Anna Heath, though. So if anyone watched that Kansas match, she came in on crucial parts in sets, usually towards the end of the set, coming off the bench and just taking big swings on her serve.
That'll be up to Julie Wittekind to try to help Cincinnati on another run here to get back in this opening set. Woo! Big swing out of the back to Frame, able to absorb. No one tries to answer. And that one put away by Roby, who has another kill.
Yeah, Scoggins doing a great job running her offense. Cincinnati's just back on their heels, and Scoggins doing a great job. Nice balanced attack for Arizona in this match.
Frame had to go even farther back than her heels to get that one from Wilson. As it will be Ava Tortorello to come in to serve, the senior from Chicago, Illinois, appearing in her 10th match of the 2024 campaign. And that one hits the antenna on the swing by Lazda.
And one thing, if you're a pin hitter, you need to make sure that you're getting wide on your approach to make sure that anything that is a little bit past the antenna, you still have a good body position to be able to get that in the court. And that last swing was a little bit outside Lazda's body, which is why it hit the antenna.
Tortorello with a set point for Arizona. It's going to make its way back over. Right down the middle. And again, Arizona keeping it in play. That was Washington with a swing that time, and this time Washington able to get the kill.
Yeah, Arizona's rolling the dice, setting up just a one-on-one block with Zeta Washington. Finally able to get that ball down for the kill in her 4th of this match.
Bearcats still need a bunch here, down by 10, and maybe second set point for Arizona. It's coming out of the back again, Frame again.
Faith Frame, she is everywhere.
And that one squeezed through the block, and the kill by Sydney Nolan.
Good swing by Nolan, but the credit to Frame. That was a huge dig she had.
She said they have a lot of confidence in their passers, but that opens up a lot more seams, a lot more holes on the other side.
Cisneros able to get the dig and then going for the angle that time, but running out of real estate was Jordan Wilson. Walker, the senior from Cambridge, Ohio, John Glenn High School. Serve. There's Wilson from the back again. Just too much power from Jordan Wilson.
So we talked about one area of your game isn't going well. You gotta pick it up in another area of your game, and that first contact by Wilson was not the best pass. However, she forgot about that ball, got back, got an approach, and was able to get a good swing on that out-of-system set.
Floater from Haven Ray once again, right down the middle, and another stuff as Roby picks up another block.
Roby has been huge tonight. She's up there, and it seems like she is a triple block, but she just gets really wide and gets over the net.
Yeah, unbelievably athletic. She took that angle away from Zeta Washington. It seems like she just hangs forever. Does a great job of sealing off the net.
Top of the block that time for Nolan. And an answer on the other side as Washington gets the stuff.
Good job by Zeta Washington following her hitter. Her hitter, Roby, was not hitting a quick tempo ball right in front of the setter, but it was away from the setter. Zeta Washington moved with her and sealed off the net for that block.
Lefler serve for Cincinnati. Trailing 4-2 here in set number 2. Popped up in the air off the swing by Hodge. We have free ball here for Arizona. Which means it's Jordan Wilson time once again.
Yeah, Jordan Wilson, she just can't seem to do anything wrong right now. Great job finding that seam of the block and finding that hole in Cincinnati's defense.
Toby Hodge to serve, the 5th-year senior from Queen Creek, Arizona. Swing there by Nolan. Off the top of the block. And another block for Arizona off the swing by Lazda.
So we've talked about bettering the ball. Something that the Cincinnati attack needs to do better is using the block. Arizona has a very respectable block. You got to find ways to score. Swinging as hard as you can into the middle of a large block is not going to be successful.
Right, it just doesn't have, like Stephanie said, it doesn't have to be the setter bettering the ball. Setter gets the ball to you, and as a hitter, you got to better the ball. You know Arizona's big block is right there.
Fifth service error for Arizona. And it'll be Whittekind to serve. And Cincinnati able to get another one, like Glendenning was there with Washington.
There, Carly Glendenning struggled a little bit in set one. Only had one kill, but maybe this will get her going. That tremendous block.
Bearcats back to within 2 points. Overpass there. That one able to find the court. Killed by Lazda.
That's a good adjustment by Lazda. That last swing that she had, Arizona was all over it. This most recent swing, she swung high, deep corner. That ball is so difficult to defend.
Transfer from Townsend. She's an all-conference performer there. And Wilson not able to get a touch that time, and Cincinnati's come all the way back to tie this set at 6. Row here for the Bearcats. And another great serve by Whittekind.
Little birthday ace by Julie Whittekind. Today is her birthday, and I'm sure she would love a Cincinnati volleyball win, without a doubt.
She's done a lot of the damage serving so far, both in sets 1 and sets 2 for Cincinnati. That one tapped over. Bearcats keep it alive. But it's going to be put away as Roby gets another kill.
Yeah, we noticed a little bit of a difference in the teams being aggressive at the net. Those overpasses, Arizona is up and ready, and they pound the ball. Cincinnati either tries to swipe it one way or the other, or they keep it on their side, get that first contact to the setter, and then run their offense. I mean, they're close. This match is close. You've got to be aggressive against a team like Arizona.
Service error by Wilson puts Cincinnati back on top. It'll be the libero frame to serve. Cisneros not able to find the court. The Bearcats up 9-7.
The Bearcats serves are picking on Jordan Wilson. They're targeting most of their serves in her direction.
Feels like she's hit a little bit of a rut over the past 4 or 5 points. And Cisneros is blocked.
That ball died a little bit inside. Cincinnati was all over.
Lock that thing up for a full year and see more great Cincinnati volleyball. Off to a 10-7 start here in set number 2. Cisneros off the top of the block. And the tip is good by Lazda, who's really heating things up here for Cincinnati.
Good off-speed shot by Lazda. She has such a powerful swing, and I think a lot of defenders are back on their heels waiting for this powerful swing, but throwing in a little off-speed tip proved successful. There was no one there.
Career best 290 kills a season ago, and another service ace for Cincinnati as the libero frame comes up with one.
Yeah, they keep serving Jordan Wilson.
Just took Wilson off the floor. It's going to bring Tortorello on in her place to give Wilson a little bit of a mental break. Bearcats lead it by 5. Swing by Roby into the bench. Over the bench. Bearcats keep it alive. Roby off the top of the head of one of the blockers.
And Julie Whittekind is back, so she is back defending.
That one just misses. A great hustle point from Cincinnati, but Arizona ends up winning the point.
What a great hustle by Julie Whittekind into the bench. You couldn't really tell where she was in all that mess, and then she came running out of it.
Glad to see her get back up. You go over top of those chairs like that, and you never know how it's going to end up, but thankfully she's okay. Good serve there. Lazda going to have to just pop it over. And the swing by Cisneros, able to put it away. Arizona really got off to a rough start in this set. At that timeout, they were hitting well under 0. See if they can get their level back up. As that one, a great angle that time as Glendenning able to put it away.
Better swing by Glendenning. She has struggled a little bit tonight, but hopefully that last swing will get her groove back and start being the dominant outside that Cincinnati knows and needs her to be.
13-9 lead for the Bearcats. Trying to tap that one over with Cisneros. Bearcats had it covered. The other line frame keeps it alive. It's going to be a free ball here. From the back, just missing, very close from Jordan Wilson, but not able to find the back line.
Yeah, it's an impressive back row attack by Arizona. It's a quick set. It's not real high. It's significantly in front of the 10-foot line, and they jump and swing away.
Tapped over by Cisneros, 50-50 ball at the net. Be pushed from the back that time by Wilson. Glendenning again. Going out by Wilson. And that one behind Glendenning, not able to spin it onto the court and just misses wide.
Yeah, Leffler trying to get that quick tempo ball out to Glendenning. Not sure if Glendenning thought it was going to be a little bit further inside, but looked like Leffler set it a little bit too high and outside the antenna.
Scoggins with the service error. Every time you think Arizona's kind of cleaning things up and maybe going to go on a run, they kind of give one back and put Cincinnati back on serve. You see 7 service errors from Arizona. Tapped over by Hodge. And finding the space where there was nobody on the floor was Abby Walker.
Yeah, that one worked out for Abby Walker. I think it caught Arizona a little bit off guard.
And Caitlin Leffler's front row, so Sydney Nolan went diving into to get that tip, took her out of the play, so her only offensive option was Abby Walker.
Cisneros now from the right side. Bearcats keep it alive. That one dug out, but not able to do anything with it as Sydney Nolan able to get a kill. And another timeout from Arizona. Cincinnati, a 7-point lead here in set number 2.
So the script seems to be flipped here in the second set. This was the situation in the first, but Arizona
in set number 2 looking to even this one at 1 set apiece. Pushed over by Hodge. Nolan taps it over. Hodge going to get a swing, and she's blocked. Wilson pushes from the back. Over on 2. Good timing that time for Caitlin Leffler.
That was the perfect moment for Caitlin Leffler to throw that in there. Arizona defense back on their heels, waiting for her to dish that ball to an attacker right in the donut.
Looks like everything Cincinnati's dialing up here in set number 2 is working as they lead by 8.
Woo!
Big dig again by Frame. Sent over to the scorer's table. Gender able to keep it alive. And big swing out of the sky for Sydney Nolan.
That was a very nice play. I love that. Actually, the one thing that you wouldn't really notice is the control that Abby Walker had getting that free ball to Leffler. It was perfect. And that, I think, set up Nolan to have that monster swing.
Yeah, and I think Caitlin Leffler looks like she's trying to speed her set, quicker tempo set out to her pins, because that doesn't allow Arizona's middle blocker to close, and there's that big split in the block.
Jalen Hodge with a much needed kill for Arizona as they really need to get things going here in set number 2. They're down 19-11, and Cisneros to serve. Now we're going to be pushed long by Nolan.
And Nolan trying to find high hands of Arizona's block, just too high and out of bounds.
Cisneros set her school record at Liberty North High School in kills in a season and a career. No surprise there. Set that time, and finishing it off is Abby Walker.
Again, starts off with a
setting an overpass, but the Bearcats block it. Try to send it over on two since he was ready for it. And that one's going to be blocked and wide by Hodge. Bearcats with some decent defense, but Arizona able to finally win the point.
nice job by Hodge. Took a little bit off that hit, off that attack, and was able to use Sydney Nolan's left hand, tooled that block for her kill.
Two Arizona liberos, Haven Ray, and floated that one a little bit too short that time. It goes into the net. Left her to serve. Bearcats 4 points away from evening this match. Wilson able to get a big kill for Arizona.
A split in the block. Jordan Wilson was able to find that. 7th kill this match.
Fire her team up. Looking to fire up the team by putting in Anna Heath. Going to bring the heat and the topspin here to try to get Arizona back in this set. The Bearcats handle it well and get the finish by Nolan.
Say, if Sydney Nolan could take that swing every time, she would be such a difficult player to defend. Everything about that swing was perfection. The timing, the attack, the high point of that attack.
Bearcats 3 points away. And Cincinnati getting the block, but just wide. Right now, side out for side out works just fine by Cincinnati. Ava Tortorello to come in once again to serve as Arizona needs a run down by 7. Mazda pushed it over. Free ball for the Bearcats. Swing off the net and wide for Lazda. Tortorello, one of the top 150 players in the country coming out of high school. Big swing by Lazda, able to find the floor.
Much better swing. That's the exact same spot that she had success before. Just that nice, high, deep corner.
Yeah, that was a nice set there by Faith Frame. I know Coach Alvey has said that Faith Frame, one thing that she's really been trying to work on is that second contact, that set to her hitters. Again, you got to better the ball, so it's a bad pass, so she's taking it, or the setter played the first ball.
Bearcats get hands on that swing by Cisneros. That one off the top of the block. Cisneros will get another chance. Doesn't get all of it. Glendenning. Cisneros again, and this time Cisneros able to put it away.
Yeah, Cisneros, she just does a lot with the ball. She's not overpowering right now, but there was that split in the block. She hit it for that kill and her 4th of this match.
Kari Roby to serve. A good one. Again, it's Cisneros able to get a touch on that swing. Another kill.
Yeah, again, she's not very overpowering, but she does a great job finding the opponent's block, their hands. That time she tooled the outside block, tried to go line. She finds the seam. She finds openings on the floor to score.
Arizona was able to put away, and Scoggins gets the kill, and down to a 4-point lead for the Bearcats. That one able to be terminated by Abby Walker.
Yeah, they need to find a way to get Abby Walker more involved in this match. It's the tail end. Caitlin Leffler starts in the front row, so she has 2 offensive options, and Sydney Nolan was able to find that split in the block for that kill.
Kill number 7 so far for Nolan to lead the Bearcats. An answer on the other side for Jalen Hodge. That's kill number 6 for her.
Great swing by Hodge. It looks like the Bearcats are going to stick with their strategy on really putting some pressure on Wilson in serve receive.
Not a lot of success with that strategy in set number 2. See how Arizona adjusts as Cisneros serves for Arizona. And another kill for Nolan, starting to heat things up for Cincinnati.
Yeah, she's such a versatile player. She was a middle her first year at North Carolina. Coming in at Cincinnati, she was going to play the left side position, but due to injury, she was moved to the opposite position, which is the right side of the court, and now she's being moved back to the left side of the court. Just a very versatile player.
Over pass there, and a finish as Laza able to tap it over. You'd like to see her put that ball down, wouldn't you?
I would. Both Stephanie and I think this whole season, we just want to see Cincinnati jump up and hammer a ball on an overpass.
3-1 lead for the Bearcats. A great serve, forcing the error. It's an ace for Cincinnati.
Great service pressure by the Bearcats. That's going to be the key to this match. I think that if the Bearcats can keep serving aggressively, this match will get very interesting, and they can pull an upset here on Arizona.
Started her career at Illinois State, Leffler did, before moving on to Cincinnati. There, the quick set and the finish for Roby again.
Roby, she's got a really quick arm swing. She just snaps that ball down. Nice, quick tempo set. Faith Frame almost got under it, but Roby for the kill.
When you're trying to turn your program around, you want to bring players in that have been part of winning programs, and Roby was a part of that Oregon Elite 8 team back in 2022. And there's another kill for Nolan.
Yeah, I think Sydney Nolan is still able to find that split in the block. Arizona right now, their middle blocker is not closing real well. But it looked like Sydney Nolan hit it on the inside of that middle blocker's left hand. So they were taking line away. She was able to find that angle.
Cincinnati coming up with a block.
So throughout this season, the block has been one of Cincinnati's strengths. It wasn't showing in that first set, but it has really come alive here in the second and third.
Whittakin has been one of their best servers today, has really caused Arizona a lot of trouble. Wilson gets blocked.
That was a big swing by Wilson. You could hear that ball hit the Cincinnati block, and when it goes deep like that, you know it was hit hard.
Again, just like we saw in set 2, they're taking Wilson out. Sydney Vanek to come in as you see the blocking stats for Cincinnati. Bearcats nearly able to keep that one alive, but it'll be Elena Johnson coming into the game, the Ohio native, getting her first kill of the night.
Yeah, nice swing out of the middle by Elena Johnson. That was a quick tempo ball right in front of the setter.
Some family and friends in town for this one, we were told, from Worthington, Ohio, suburb of Columbus. That one tapped down as Lazda puts another one away.
That was kind of like a hybrid hit. It looked like she was intending to hit that ball, but got fingers on it and shoved it right to the middle of the court.
She's hearing you. It's just we're not quite all the way there yet. We're getting close, though. 8-3 lead for Cincinnati. Excellent serve again by Frame. Going to force a roll from Arizona. Right down the middle, Arizona throws up the block.
That was a great cover by Cincinnati.
And that one squeezed through by Sydney Vanek.
I think Abby Walker wasn't quite able to close and seal off that net, and it just rolled down the front of her for that kill.
Arizona will call upon Ava Tortorello once again. Did not play in that 5-set win over Kansas. Denning dug out by Cisneros.
Walker wasn't quite able to close and seal off that net, and it just rolled down the front of her for that kill.
Arizona will call upon Ava Tortorello once again. Did not play in that 5-set win over Kansas. Denning dug out by Cisneros. Has to push it over. Kept alive by Ray. Another block by Cincinnati. Cisneros. Frame keeps it up. Lazda again. Lazda finds the court.
Nice job by Ray Lazda. That set was a little bit off the net, so she didn't hammer it. So she took a little bit of speed off, but kept it in the court. Great swing by Lazda.
That goes back to bettering the ball. That was a great adjustment by Lazda. Keep that ball in play. Really paint the end line.
Gretchen Sigmund to serve. Cisneros frame has it. The back, that one's going to miss just long from Sigmund.
That's all right. That's a good swing. Caitlin Leffler's coming from the front row, or she is in the front row, so she needs a third offensive option. Sigmund just needs to snap, get a little bit more topspin, keep that ball in the court.
There's Haven Ray. Steering that one down the line is Glendenning. Get another chance and able to squeeze it between the blockers for the kill.
Yeah, good job by Caitlin Leffler. She was keeping an eye on the middle blocker. The middle blocker kind of cheated to her left. Abby Walker was running, taking for a slide. And Glendenning found that split in the block, put it through for the kill.
10-5 Cincinnati. One set apiece this match. Quick set that time and put away again by Kiari Roby.
That was a great swing by Roby. Nice high attack. There was nobody there to defend that ball.
She's been one of their better players tonight.
I think that's also been an adjustment that Arizona has made. They've started to get their middles more involved in this third set.
Ray runs over to dig that one. That one goes behind Roby and able to just kind of send it from behind her over the net and getting the kill.
Yeah, Abby Walker got a piece of that on the block, but just not enough.
It's kill number 7 for Roby. There's another block from Arizona. Stopping Nolan. She'll get another swing at it and miss it wide. Wildcats chipping away at the Cincinnati lead, now 10-8.
Yeah, that's where Sydney Nolan, I think, needs to grow in those out-of-system plays. The ball, when it's not set perfectly, she's got to learn to keep the ball in the court.
Scoggins. Nolan. Out by Ray. Roby pushes it over. Time just dunked down by Abby Walker.
Yeah, good job. Caitlin Leffler jump set on that one. She's front row, so the middle blocker held with her. She set it back. That back slide for Abby Walker was able to find that one-on-one opportunity, find that hole right in the middle of Arizona's defense.
Cambridge, Ohio native will now serve, but go into the net. So the remaining, or go back to a 2-point deficit for Arizona. Cisneros getting ready to serve. Coach Stubbs talked about how slow the game is for Cisneros, which is unusual for a freshman. Nothing slow about that swing by Zeta Washington.
Yeah, Zeta Washington, great swing. That was a little bit quicker tempo ball that we're not used to. Usually Zeta balls are a little bit higher in the middle, but that was a nice quick tempo ball. She just took it back across her body for that kill.
Scoggins could do about that one. Big swing again from Vanek. Clovis, California native, was a top 100 thanks to prep volleyball in her freshman year, coming up with a big kill there. There's Roby to serve. Arizona down by 2. Washington taps it. Vanek will get another swing, looking for a touch, and got it.
So Arizona has a lot of depth in the pin position. They have a lot of players that can take big swings and step in when another player is having a rough night.
That was something Coach Stubbs told us she felt like could be an advantage for her team going on the road, is just the amount of depth they have. And there's another kill for Elena Johnson.
Yeah, pass just a little bit too tight. Again, Caitlin Leffler's back row. She cannot go up and attack that ball. Arizona put that ball away to tie this game.
Johnson was a regular contributor a season ago, but really has embraced that team role this season as that one into the net, into the antenna. Another point for Arizona as they've taken the lead.
The two-person serve receive is proving vulnerable for Cincinnati. They're going to pull Sydney Nolan back to pass.
Good serve. Nolan rolls it over, finds a space, nearly got the kill. They frame again. Nolan with a swing. It's blocked, but it's wide. Another kill for Sydney Nolan.
Yeah, good job by Sydney Nolan. Out of system play again, able to find hands of Arizona and tool the block for that kill and her 10th of this match.
Julie Whittekid has been very good serving so far as we take another look. Set and the finish by Johnson, making the most for a return back to the Buckeye State.
Arizona has such an impressive offense. The key is just trying to get that first contact to show it off.
There's Jalen Hodge. Third on the team a season ago in kills, 309. Denning able to squeeze it through. From the back, and the touch on the Cisneros swing. And that will take us.
Run their middles, and their middles are just dominating.
Glendenning. Net violation against Arizona, gives the side out to Cincinnati.
Yeah, net violation by middle blocker Elena Johnson on that one.
There's Faith Frame. Bearcats behind by a point here in this middle set. And off the block and dropping straight down, and thankful for Johnson, it dropped just wide.
Yeah, Arizona's, their setter Scoggins doing a nice job now in this third set. Their first contact is much better. She's doing a great job keeping this offense really balanced, and really Cincinnati's block is not knowing where to go because she's not knowing where the ball is going to be set.
It's Tortorello. Mazda goes up high and sends it down.
Lazda adding a huge offensive spark for the Bearcats. That's been an area that they've struggled with this season, is offensive consistency, and she's just adding a huge spark to the Bearcats tonight.
Second on the team in kills tonight with 7. From the back, swing by Hodge. Denning is blocked.
That's an area of improvement for the Bearcats, that they need to improve on their coverage, especially when the attacker is going up and say they're trying to play into the block to give another chance. That could be the intention, but if the coverage isn't there, that's not going to work.
Even Ray floats another short one in. And Denning able to put it away.
Yeah, good swing by Glendenning. High over the block into that zone 5. Very hard to defend.
Back there, only a matter of whether it was going to be inside the baseline, and it was. It's kill number 5 for Glendenning. The back again off the face, but there's going to be a violation against Arizona.
I love Arizona's back row attack so much. I love how many options they have. All 3 of their pin hitters hit it. The risk in it is because you set that ball a little bit in front of the 10-foot line, leading the attacker in, it does leave some room for error there for the foot to just touch that 10-foot line. That is considered over, and the point goes to the other team.
Frame able to dig out Cisneros. Gonna get a second swing, and that time able to drive it off the block. It's kind of amazing they don't have more back row violations considering how aggressively they set that play.
They're close, and you want to be close. You want to be as close as you can without getting a toe on that line. And it has proved to be highly effective for Arizona.
That one headed over towards us is the ace by Scoggins.
Yeah, and I think Arizona now is keying on the.
Now she's trying to do it with a serve, and she does. It's another ace.
Yeah, I'm really impressed the way Scoggins runs this offense. You know, it obviously all starts with the pass, but they are so well balanced. Like Stephanie said earlier, they've got so much depth. They can bring someone off the bench, and they really, it looks like they don't miss a beat.
Second ace for Scoggins in this match so far. Tapped over, chance for Arizona again. Cisneros tries to jam it over, and Cincinnati gets a huge block.
The Arizona staff and team believe that third contact by Abby Walker was a double. There was a little bit of spin on that ball, but that is up to the officials' discretion.
Big point for Cincinnati with Arizona getting a chance to swing, and that's why as Hodge able to put that one away to go back up by 3.
Zeta Washington needs to know where her setter is, because the setter is in the back row. She jump set. Zeta Washington went up with her and left Caitlin Leffler all alone to try to block that ball on the outside.
Cisneros serving, and Cisneros with an ace. It's interesting because Cincinnati felt like they used their serving targeted in set number 2 to win that set. Feels like Arizona's flipped the script here in the third.
So passing is such a mental game.
Just misses wide.
Well, there's enough pressure back there on those passers because in a lot of rotations they are passing only 2 back there. So that does leave a lot of seams, a lot of holes in the court for the opponents to try to hit.
And passing 2 freshmen. So the pressure is there. You got to build some mental toughness. If you get aced once, you got to shake it off. Make that next ball better.
Leffler with the serve into the antenna. Not what Cincinnati needed there as it sends Roby back to serve with Arizona 2 points away from the 2-1 lead. Another excellent serve and tapped over. Almost didn't get much of it, but Vanek enough of it to put it over. But point ends up going to Cincinnati, though. It'll be Sydney Nolan. The Bearcats down by 3. Excellent serve from Nolan. It'll be a free ball for the Bearcats. Swing by Glendenning, squeezes through, and Arizona can't dig it out of the net.
So going back to that serve, that was a great serve. Floating high, but the bottom really dropped out and put Arizona in a little bit of trouble.
Cincinnati back to within 2. Service error going to give a set point to Arizona. Look who it is coming in. It's Anna Heath. Try to close this out with the big booming topspin serve. Junior from Murphy, Texas will tee it up and let it fly. And drives it into the net. The back tapped over. First point goes to Jalen Hodge and the Wildcats. It is notable that Jordan Wilson not on the floor to start set number 4.
And the first point of this set, another one of those over violations with the toe of Hodge touching that 10-foot line.
That one off the top of the net, it's an ace. So the question is, when you start getting a couple of those violations, do you start to lose your confidence in that back row attack, or do you just keep going at it?
I think you keep going at it. I know that if it consistently happens, you'll see players start to scoot back more and they'll start their approach from deeper in the court.
Bearcats get the first 2 after the violation on the first point. That one going to find the floor. Cisneros to the rescue.
She's just such a crafty player. She reminds me a lot of a beach player, you know, where she's not going up and really hammering the ball, but she's just finding ways to score. She tools the block, gets high hands. That time, nice little roll shot right to the middle of Cincinnati's defense.
Hard to believe she's a freshman, as crafty as she is in her game already.
Crafty and also very composed. She's not super emotional. She doesn't get down. You can't tell by her facial expression how she's playing, which is that's awesome to have.
Yeah, I think Arizona though, you know, Coach Stubbs, she's not real high, she's not real low, she's always instructing, but you always take the personality, it seems like, of your coach.
There's an ace from Scoggins. Another thing Scoggins does really well, not only does she run this offense, but good server as well. Two Wildcats here in the 4th. Nolan able to put one away.
Really helps with Sydney Nolan being, you know, as tall as she is, because she's able, that's a great set, but she's able to hit over the block of the opponent.
Local product coming home after a year at North Carolina, part of those great teams at Notre Dame Academy in Northern Kentucky. Ace for Cincinnati, it's Abby Walker.
Yeah, it seems like Cincinnati, they're really starting to serve that front row outside hitter and try to serve them deep and take them out of the play.
Roby able to put that one away to tie up this set at 4. Cisneros to serve. Kills for Cisneros. Also has 11 digs, closing in on a double-double. Nolan stuffed.
And a ball like that, that's where the rest of the Bearcats need to be really running towards the net. Nolan hit that ball probably on the 7-foot line, but there was no one right below the net to cover that ball.
Served by Cisneros. Nolan taps it over, and Scoggins had a shot at it, but it was tapped away from her.
Yeah, nice job by Nolan handling that. That set was tight and inside. She was able to just find hands of Arizona's block. The blocker reached back. Setter was there to take that ball, but the blocker, Hodge, reached back.
It's got to drive setters crazy when they're there. And that extra hand comes flying in and knocks it away from you. Cincinnati with a 1-point lead here in the 4th. It'll be Caitlin Leffler to serve. Quick set and the finish right up the middle once again.
Yeah, Roby quietly having herself a night.
She's only got one hitting error.
Yeah, one hitting error, hitting 500.
That balanced Arizona attack, and now serving. Nolan. Cisneros gets there. Other side, down the line, it's Vanek with the finish.
Vanek's doing a good job here in the fourth set. Coming off the bench, she's really making an impact, and I'm assuming there wasn't a whole lot of film to watch, especially if Cincinnati was focusing on the past two matches for Arizona. But Vanek is a very, very strong outside hitter that is putting the Cincinnati defense in a little bit of a whirlwind.
Great effort that time, but then tapped over by Washington.
Yeah, Cincinnati defense doing a great job keeping them in this match. They're getting a lot of touches, a lot of hands on a lot of balls.
No surprise that was Cisneros on the floor, able to just keep that one alive, but nothing they could do about Washington putting that one away. Washington down the middle. Cisneros able to dig. That one's going to miss. But yes, indeed, it will be wide. Point to Cincinnati.
I think we're going to see our first challenge here tonight.